Hi everyone, it's Jen T with ARINGO, and today we're going to talk about the MBA application process. So, if you're just getting started on your research or your journey of applying to an MBA, this is going to be helpful. So, the first thing you need to know is that typically the MBA application process will open about a year before you'd actually start the program. So, for instance, if you were looking to start the MBA program next fall, you would submit your application either this fall or spring to get accepted into that incoming class. So the way that applications typically work are going to be in rounds. So first round is typically going to be around September, October. Round two will be around January. And then round three is typically February, March, April, depending on the school. They may even have a fourth round. Some schools also have what's called an early decision or early action round, which means that it's before round one. And so those schools open their applications for submission for candidates that say, this is absolutely the school that I want to go to, and I want to submit my application here first because if I was admitted, I would put down my deposit and be ready to see you next fall. And so those applications typically are going to be accepted August through early September as well. Beyond that, you should know that once you submit your application during any of these rounds, there's typically going to be about 6 to 8 weeks of review before you start to receive an invite for interview. And then if you're invited for interview, you typically will get your decision in close to the end of that round, which would be for round one in December, round two in probably February, March, depending on the school, and then April, May for round three or four. Now, if you don't receive an interview, it doesn't mean that your chances are over. There's also a chance that you might be waitlisted, which means that the MBA program says you have a lot of potential, but we need to know more. And so this is an opportunity for you to do what's called a waitlist campaign and help the school learn more about you beyond what you've already submitted in your application. That can include letters, additional letters of recommendation, or it could include maybe videos. Each school has their own preference as to how they would like for students to continue to update their profile as they are on the wait list. So once you find out that you've been admitted, if you're an international student, the school will probably give you in about January, February, they'll issue what's called an I-20. The I-20 will be something that you take to the embassy in your country to be able to be granted a visa to come and study in the US. And then typically, most programs will have you come for orientation within 1 or 2 weeks of the program starting. And if you're an international student, typically you're only allowed to enter the US within a month of starting the program. So that gives you enough time to get settled, attend orientation, and then start the program. So this is a typical MBA application cycle. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. Please reach out and I'm happy to help you with questions about the application cycle, the applications themselves, and help answer questions about your profile.